Hi, this is Thomas. Welcome back to the course Principles of Management. Today's topic is Introduction to Controlling. The control process consists of 3 steps. First, measure actual performance. Whatever item you're looking at to evaluate whether it's performing at standard or needs to be adjusted, measure that performance. Then compare the actual performance to the standard that's been set to see if that performance is acceptable according to the standard. And third, take managerial action, which usually is to correct the performance. That is assuming that the standard that was set is a reasonable standard. In some cases, there is the situation that the standard wasn't a reasonable standard, and in that case the standard should be revised, and once the standard is revised to a more realistic level, then a more realistic comparison of actual to standard can take place. Several control concepts regarding when control activities take place are feed-forward controls, which are controls that are implemented before activity happens. Concurrent controls are happening at the same time activity happens, and feedback controls happen after activity occurs. An example of feed-forward controls is giving instructions for a project before beginning. An example of concurrent controls would be monitoring and giving real-time feedback to employees who are working on a task while they're working on it. And feedback controls would be after a task is completed, giving evaluation to indicate whether what has been done is satisfactory or requires adjustment. Several organizational performance tools which are important for controlling. Financial controls are the typical tool used to control an organization. This is preparing financial statements and calculating financial ratios to analyze company performance, either in comparison with prior periods or in comparison with competitors, comparable companies. A more comprehensive tool for organizational performance is the balanced scorecard. The balanced scorecard starts earlier in an organization's performance. The final step is financial analysis. But for effective financial results, there needs to be effective customer controls and evaluation and systems in place to make sure the customer is satisfied and continues to do business with the company. In order to have a satisfied customer, there need to be internal process controls in place to ensure quality of products and services of the organization. And in order to ensure quality in products and services, there need to be innovation and learning controls in place to provide adequate training and knowledge to the employees of the organization so that they then can produce internal processes resulting in quality products and services, which will then result in satisfied customers, which will then result in sustainable financial performance. Information controls relate to collecting, analyzing, and managing information, particularly relating to technology, as well as safeguards in place to protect that information. And benchmarking is the idea of a comparison to competing companies or to the best company in an industry to have an idea of where your organization stands in regards to other comparable companies. And finally, contemporary issues in control include cross-cultural differences. From one culture to another, the way to manage evaluation and correction varies, and it's important to be sensitive to those cultural differences. Workplace privacy is another issue. Because of developments in technology, more and more information is kept in digital format, and there is the possibility that that information is accessed by someone unauthorized to obtain that information, and that unauthorized access would result in leaks of personal information relating to employees, their backgrounds, their salary levels, etc. And these are concepts relating to workplace privacy. Customer interactions also is a result of developments in technology. Customer interactions are now much more dynamic because of tools such as Facebook and other social media tools The internet in general allows for more dynamic and real-time interaction with customers, which gives the customers more opportunity to give feedback to the company. Not only can the company communicate towards the customer, more and more customers have a variety of opportunities to communicate to the company. And if a customer is dissatisfied, they can share that communication with a large number of people. This creates a complex issue for the organization and requires the organization to ensure that they're managing their customer relationships effectively. And finally, corporate governance, which includes an effective board of directors as well as an effective internal control system. Corporate governance isn't a new concept, but we consider it a contemporary issue as a result of the scandals and bankruptcies of the early 2000s, which were the result of weak boards of directors and inefficient internal control systems that caused people to lose billions of dollars in investment value. And as a result of those unethical and illegal activities, corporate governance is now a much more prominent concept relating to control. This concludes the lecture Internal to Controlling. Be sure to be in class for our case study activity, which will give you the opportunity to apply these concepts in a real-world setting, and I look forward to seeing you then.